DMV. I'm Catherine Moji Renner.
I'm Albert Adebayo, and we have with us two gentlemen that are part of the restaurant, Mr. Chaz and Chef Tony.
Yes, so we're here today at this sensational new restaurant called the Continent DC.
Yep.
That opened about a month ago. I was here for the opening and it was fantastic. I mean, the whole place was packed. There were people lined up outside. I mean, it was just amazing, and you guys did such an amazing job dealing with all those people. But, let me know, how's it going now?
Right now it's going smooth. We're still in the early stages of opening such a restaurant. This is a 72 square foot, 7,200 square foot restaurant. So to a certain extent, it is big. And when it's big, it means that everything in here is going to be big. The same thing goes for the bills. The bills will be big. Everything is big. So it's fun managing it at the moment. The good thing is that we definitely do see a lot of light at the end of the tunnel. For sure. It is very progressive, and we are pretty sure that we will meet the demands of all our guests.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, Chef Tony.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go talk about the food now. Can you take us through your culinary journey and what led to you being here at the Continent DC?
Actually, I mean, I've been in business now for about 25 years. First job ever in my life was working at Wendy's, Tri-State Mall in Delaware. I was making maybe $4, so $5 cents an hour. Back then, it was a lot of money.
Those were the days.
But in the process of working there, from casual, fast food to casual, from casual to fine dining, I had the opportunity of working with big names in the business. Taught me a lot. From that, having that experience gave us enough courage to, fulfill the need in the African diaspora. The different things that we've learned we can bring into the table and have our folks enjoy that. And that's pretty much where that drive and that energy comes from. We've been working for different professionals.
Fantastic. Well, I love your food, I have to say.
Great. Thank you, Tony. Again, we're talking to Chef Tony and
Yes, sir.
Chaz, one of the principal partners of the Continent DC. And going for that, can you just tell us how? And I think I'm going to direct this as Chaz. Can you tell us how you brought the concept of creating the partnership to bring this restaurant into being? One of the things that I'm curious about is I've lived in the DC area for about 38 years.
Really?
And yes, for about 38 years, and we have seen restaurants come and gone.
Sure.
And the moment I heard about this, I was so excited that finally we have something going on. And I know you're going to expand on this. One of the things that I get from people that come from the continent, they say they don't have good restaurants in the DC area. So I'm really excited about the concept of this. So tell us how the journey began.
Well, very good question. Tony and I actually managed a restaurant down the street. It was also an African concept, East African concept. And that's where we actually met. We're both West Africans. We come from, two of the three major tribes of Nigeria, the Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa. He's Yoruba, I'm Igbo. And while we were managing, when you have gentlemen who want to grow, who want to, be able to expand, you can only but hold them down for a period of time,
Sure.
And we started talking about it like, hey, this is a great restaurant and this is where we used to work. But, our people also need a representation of, who we are and where we come from, and there's more than enough space in the air for a lot of planes to fly. And we were just going to take off with ours as well. And that's how we came up with the concept. Now, the beautiful part of it is Tony came to me one day, he's like, man, I found this location. This is after we've gone to multiple locations.
Wow.
Yes.
And then I'm like, okay, let's go to this location. He sent me the address. It looked a little bit familiar, but I wasn't too sure till I got here. And I was like, this is the location? He said, yes. I said, well, about 16 years ago, my brother used to throw parties in this same location.
Wow.
And I remember coming to one of the parties and I was like, it would be nice to own something like this, And 17 years later, we are here right now. That's how long it has taken. And a lot of things just happen. It's just one of those things where something is meant to happen. It's going to be a lot of universal powers that will come into it and just make it happen. And that's how we ended here.
Well, that is a fantastic story.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the food again.
Right.
Can you take us through what's
Absolutely.
on the menu and what people can expect when it comes to content?
Man, so when it comes to the menu itself, you can expect nothing but the best of the best from the continent of Africa itself. So the menu is literally designed to take you through an amazing journey of the African continent. We have from South.
Hence the name of content.
It is. So if you're from Southern Africa, we have a southern sausage for you. So just so everybody knows, there's nothing on our menu that's actually pork. Trying to make sure nothing on the menu is pork. So if you're from the south, we have different things from you on the menu from the south. If you're from the east, you have things like samosa on the menu as well. We have vegetarians and we have beef. And Moroccans, we have an amazing Moroccan tea, mint tea, that's delicious, right?
Yep.
And I'll tell you, when I spoke with Mr. Chaz and we first met, we wanted to bring a true African item able to put on the table in DC. And so when I say that, I said that so we have an amazing jumbo prawns from Lagos, Nigeria, importer that we have on the menu. About 3 years ago while I was on the island in Lagos, having these prawns, I said to my wife, it would be amazing to have this on the menu in DC. Lord on the hill, we were able to work it out. So now you can enjoy a piece of Nigeria right here in DC.
Yeah.
Right?
That's great.
We have a lot of items that we ship just to make it very, very good. A lot of people are always complaining it's not real, it's not enough. I want to make it as real as possible. And if you're a wine drinker, guess what? We have a lot of wine from South Africa. Right?
That's great.
So it's just a journey.
We'll come for some wine tasting then. I know I'm coming back for those shrimp. There's no doubt about that.
I know you love the shrimp.
Yes, I do.
So just to piggyback on what he said, the menu is curated to serve the entire continent. So we have a representation from north, south, east, west. And that also includes the wines from South Africa. We also have a winery right here that is owned by West African Nigeria specifically that supplies us wines as well. It's made in Maryland law.
Yes.
I think I know the lady. That's Ify, right?
Yes.
Cleopatra.
Yeah.
So,
She's my friend, as a matter of fact.
yes, absolutely. So what we saw was like, let's bring people together. It's not just about the restaurant or the food that we serve. We're trying to portray a certain image, more so use food, vibes, good energy, great ambience, great music, great drinks to bring and unify Africa, all Africans and friends.
I just love that concept so much, and you guys are doing an amazing job in bringing it all together.
Thank you.
Really
So far, people love it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm excited about it. Like I said, coming in here, having seen African restaurants come and go. One of the key questions I have for you guys is the sustainability of a project like this. I call it a project because I love the ambience, I love the decor. I think you guys have, you've really keyed in and you've done a beautiful job, bringing this in, and the space is huge as well. So, the question I have for you is, how do you maintain the sustainability, not just of the decor, not just of the great food, maintaining that's going to be critical to your success in this restaurant. So if you can speak to that, I would,
absolutely. So before we even open, again, it's one thing your experience definitely would give you a step or two forward.
Sure.
And in this type of business, that one of the core things is maintenance. Maintain. Make sure nothing is breaking. Make sure you have your eyes. The good thing about our partnership is that he can rely on me to see what he's not going to see. Yes, I am very, I'm very, very straight to the point. I see I even see a little toothpick on the ground. I will pick it,
Yes.
And I'm very huge on maintenance. I still have a pair of shoes that looks brand new and it's 14 years old. Each time I get. So we are budgeting for all these things. We have a little money that comes out every month to make sure we're able to sustain and maintain.
That's great.
Fixes. We don't want to wait till it's completely broken before we fix it. We see a little problem, we want to get it right immediately. So, and it goes all around in terms of like payroll, taking care of your staff, maintaining good relationship with your guests, making sure that the quality of food and drinks that are being here are very consistent. It's going to take us some time. We're only 30 days old, but I think maybe in another 30 to 60 we will become something that people know we're here to stay.
Yeah, that's great.
Kind of brings us up to the dining experience. I know you have several different spaces here. You've got several bars
Right.
in different areas. So tell us about the dining experience in terms of being fine dining, casual dining, all the different things that you offer here.
Absolutely. You want me to go on that?
No, go ahead.
Absolutely. So we identify ourselves as an upscale West African restaurant. We also know what fine dining looks like. Fine dining does require a little bit more than an upscale. And so does an upscale require more than your regular conventional go in and just eat and chill place. But with the feel of an upscale, we still want to make sure that your experience here is something that is very memorable. Where it starts from how you're greeted the moment you step in here, and where you're going to be sat, who is seating you, what the introductions of your server or whoever it is that's going to be serving you. We want you to not worry about anything other than just enjoy your time and have money. And we're very big on that. We're very big on customer service. I'm talking down to even our Google reviews. I will go in and I'll respond. If someone didn't have a good experience, I'm willing to offer them another experience on their house, just so that we make our people and they can trust us and know that we're not here to play.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
it's a great experience, and then also we have our core values, which one of them is the type of music that we play here. It's mostly African. 95% of the time it's African. We still play other people's music, but this is an African establishment, and we want you to know that. Because all we're doing at this point is just taking our own little space, so that we can serve people who like Africa.
That's great. That's great. That's great. Thank you, Chaz, for speaking to that. One of the things I truly want to know again is because you guys opened about a month ago, correct?
Yes.
So what has been the feedback you've gotten from the customer experience so far in terms of, yes, you're still new, but obviously you've had a lot of people come in and out through those doors. So what has been the responses and what has been the feedback you've gotten from the people that have been here? And I know you guys are still, there's still a whole lot of people that haven't been here. I know we like I said, I've lived in the DMV for almost 38 years. I was in the Navy. I was in the US Navy so I know there's a lot of people that I personally have told about this restaurant, but they haven't been here. But so far, the people that have been here, what has been the experience in terms of the feedback, that you've gotten?
Well, good enough. Very good question, by the way. Good enough that you asked, though, because what I have noticed in the past 30 days is that maybe about 90% of the people who have come in here actually want us to succeed.
That's great.
And it changes the game entirely, because now there is more of a relationship. But it's also people who know, just like you said, that this has been missing and they want this. I have seen some faces that I haven't seen in 8 years, 6 years, because they don't go out to club anymore. These are folks who are married, they get children, but still want to have a good time. They are coming. And they're giving us feedback like, listen, I know you guys are new, this food, we need to improve on this, no problem, we'll take it. We're very open to constructive criticism, And then also, people call, they will call me at 11 midnight, Chaz, I just left there, just so you know, the host didn't say, thank you for coming. I'm like, thank you so much for letting me know. I'll go ahead and implement. So that's what we've been experiencing. And then of course you have the hardcore, the ones who would not necessarily have mercy on you, because one, they don't know you, they don't know you, and they are coming in here to spend their hard-earned money. So if they don't get service, quality service that's up to par, I understand that frustration. I guess the only thing I would say to them is, to give us more time, be patient with us. We have more than a 10-year lease here, hopefully. So
that's great.
We're going to get it right.
That's great.
Let me just address those that don't know us. All right?
Can you speak to the camera and
for those of you that don't know us, in this business, whatever business that you've done for over 20, 25 years, this is probably a quarter of what you're going to live on this earth. You must have some kind of passion towards it, right? And I always tell people in this business, it's an it factor. It's whether you have it or you don't. And this two right here, we have it. And even the small little systems and things that we have that we've implemented that we know is still up to par, there's so much room for us to grow that we've not even tapped into 10% of where we want to be, right?
Okay.
So please keep the feedback coming. We're here to stay, and we're here to deliver at a very high level to everybody that's coming.
That's great. That's great. Thank you, Chef Tony.
Well, just one last question. Do you want to say a little bit about the clientele, in terms of the business community? I know you have church events, wedding events. Just tell them about all the things that you have to offer in terms of for the community.
Well, let's start with the community. Our location is currently based, which from what we understood, currently understand is, they're not. This is not West. We're really 4 or 5 minutes away from the White House. So you better believe that the community here are very watchful in who they meet as a business. Very first acceptance that we had, where even when we went for our liquor here, and everybody was like, "Hey, we want you guys to come in here." If you're very familiar with live music or live entertainment, it's not something that a lot of the communities in the DC area want. They granted that to us. They're like, listen, the location is great, no houses around you, it's all good vibes, But, for our clientele, we still want them, because this is upscale, we still want an upscale feel. We want people
Well,
to...
you've got the embassies, all the African
Oh, yeah.
embassies.
And then, yes, and we just want this place to be that place where you could bring your friends, you could bring your business partners, regardless of what caliber the person. If Elon Musk is doing business with someone from South Africa, we need a good place to represent it. We could stand in and say, hey, you know what, we're here for you guys, and it's going to be a great time. So to our clientele, we still want to make sure that we're giving what we have promised, and they can also give us their support.
Okay, that's great. Piggyback on on one of your responses, what are the other things you plan on incorporating into the restaurant? There's something about evolving, businesses and stuff like that. So I heard you say something about having live show, live music. Are those things that you plan to incorporate into the restaurant? Because those definitely it's another level when you have that.
Yes, considering how stressful America is, we want to try as much as we can to take up the stress of so many of our guests and clients. So yes, we would definitely incorporate a lot more other than just a live band, which we already had. We had a live saxophonist here as well. We have a live DJ booth that's here as well. And we also want to create events that would cater to our people, whether it's a networking event or a singles event, or something of that nature. We plan to be busy Monday through Sunday. We're rolling out with our happy hour. We're also rolling out with our brunch on Sundays, and then we'll have weekdays, once in a month live band that we try to use, and then we also have our lunch menu coming up shortly too. So it's a lot that we plan to do. Then outside of here, we definitely plan to involve ourselves with a lot of communities. So
that's great.
That's very important, So we want to feed who we can feed, and we want to, give back to the community, So at one point, that's going to be very, very, out there. People are going to know about it, and that's just how we feel it would be a good way for us to, give back.
That's great.
Well, let me just say thank you so much for taking the time to do this. And we're going to look forward to having something to live on a bit later.
We have a lot of food.
Mocktails since it's the beginning of the... By the way, they have fantastic mock cocktails that are just fantastic. So for...
Before we wrap up, I like Tony, the Chef Tony, and to speak to the camera and tell us about the operation of this restaurant in terms of you guys are open 7 days a week. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if you can speak to the camera and let us know what time you open and what time you shut down for the day, and you as well, you can speak to that and just promote the restaurant into the camera.
Absolutely.
If you go first, sir.
So again, Chef Tony here. We're definitely open from 11 o'clock to midnight, Monday to Thursday. On Fridays and Saturdays, we close at 3 o'clock in the morning. And Sundays, we do close at 1 a.m. in the morning. So you can look for one of the best amazing brunch that you can ever have. You know, it's just a blend, mixture of American, me with African brunch comes together on an amazing Sunday and Saturday morning coming soon. Our happy hour, oh my God. You know, a lot of times when you go to happy hours, they have just raw liquor. Now, we are also doing premium liquor upgrade happy hour.
Yeah.
If you don't have to do the headache if you don't want it.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah,
So-
and just to add on what Tony has just said, you know, we are of a West African descent. You know, we want to take our own space in this huge market. So we're promising to meet up with all the demands of our guests. But just know that this is the only one in the entire East Coast of this style. And in terms of operations, we're getting our operations. We're trying to make sure that all of our servers, our bartenders are just great in every ramification. You know, we're trying our best to make sure we're up there. You know, we hold up, hold our esteem up there. So whenever you have some time, if you haven't come to the continent, or if you don't have a lot of money to buy a ticket right now to actually fly to the continent, you could just drive to this continent. If you understand what I mean, we'll take care of you.
That's great. That's great.
And in addition to that, if you have catering that you're doing, we're also going to be doing catering for you.
Yep.
We've had so many different events coming up, buyout events from the government,
Yep.
from different businesses, and then probably buyout as well.
Yep.
If you're doing a birthday parties, anniversary parties, how big, you know, we do
Wedding ceremonies.
wedding ceremonies, baby showers, baby dedication, this stuff that we're doing everything. You know, so whatever your headache is, we're here. We are literally your one-stop shop for everything, for
right.
all your events. So Chef Tony and King Chaz, I look forward to serving you
Chaz.
and see you really soon at the continent.
That's
Make
right.
sure you come hungry with
Yeah.
your dancing shoes.
That's right.
Thank you, fellas.
Okay,
Thank
the
you,
address,
fellas. Before I-
1110 Vermont Avenue,
Yes,
Washington,
yes.
DC,
Before-
Northwest.
Yes, before I turn it over to you to wrap it up, I just want to say thank you, gentlemen, for
Thank you.
allowing us to
Thank
come
you.
do this podcast with you.
Thank you.
I'm excited, and I'm not an investor. Let me just put it out there. I'm not an investor, but I'm excited, and you know why I'm excited? Like I said, when we started this podcast, I've lived in this city for 38 years. I've seen restaurants come and go. I have friends that are coming from the continent that they don't want to go to a booker. They don't want to go. They'll say, Albert, is there any place we can go eat? And there's nothing that I would, and these are high caliber friends of mine. These are people in government in African countries and stuff. So I am personally excited because you have something that is distinguished going on in DC. So I'm happy, and I know that you guys are going to be successful if you key into all the things we've talked about today.
Sure.
And I'm excited for you, and I'm going to throw it over to Miss Catherine to wrap this thing up.
Okay, well, it's been wonderful talking to you and being here at the Continent DC, and I know for sure that I'm going to be back. And for all you guests that have watched this, please come to the Continent DC. They're at 1110 Vermont Avenue Northwest in Washington DC, and I believe that's at the corner of L Street.
Yep.
So come on down.
Thank you.
And like and subscribe and like this
Oh, that's
podcast.
true.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give good
Have a good
reviews
one.
when you've been here too.
Thank you.
Thank you.